Hey everybody, I'm Ryan. Today we're going to do a sideboard guide for Reanimator in Legacy. So Reanimator is a combo deck where they basically try to reanimate Archon of Cruelty or Grizzlebrand, or sometimes Atraxa if you're that kind of person, on turn 1 or 2, and try to stop their opponent from interacting with them and just win the game on the spot. The issue is sideboarding with combo decks, especially really dedicated combo decks like Reanimator, is actually really difficult because you don't want to dilute your combo. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the top 10 most popular decks in Legacy, how to sideboard against each one of those top 10 most popular decks, and hopefully you can use that information to sideboard against the other most popular decks. Let's do it. One thing we have to remember about sideboarding before I get into any specific decks is that we never cut any lands or Lotus Petals because we need the mana. We never cut any Entombs or Faithless Lootings or anything to put our homies into the graveyard. And generally, you can go down to 7 reanimation targets if you're not bringing in Show and Tell, but I generally don't do that. Now, the most popular deck in Legacy is Blue-Red Delver. And what you're going to notice with a lot of this sideboarding is we're going to be shaving things here and there because we want to be able to keep up our combo. Against Blue-Red Delver, we're going to be bringing in our Show and Tells because the game often goes really long. They have a lot of interaction, a lot of counter magic, so generally our first attempt at doing the thing can get countered. And when the game goes really, really long, we have the opportunity to just Show and Tell our thing onto the battlefield and just like overwhelming them with like must counterable things. I'm also a big fan of Chancellor of the Annex. It gives more targets for Show and Tell. In addition, being able to reveal this in your opening hand makes Forcible and Daze like a little weird, and they have to mess up their tempo to be able to stop what you're doing. And we are going to cut to Grief, mostly because like generally we like cutting Grief instead of Unmask, because Unmask you can unmask yourself or like Thoughtseize yourself to be able to put these guys in the graveyard and do the thing. We're going to cut to Exhume. No, we don't want to go super all in on the reanimation post board because, again, we're bringing in Show and Tell. They could have the graveyard hate, whatever. And then we're going to cut to Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual is mostly for these like unfair matchups. And if the games are going to go really, really long, Dark Ritual gets like way worse. Like it's a really, really much worse top deck. So this is how we sideboard against Delver. The second most popular deck is Mono White Initiative. Against Initiative, we are bringing in the Snuff Outs. And we are bringing in Wear Tear. The reason we're bringing in Wear Tear is specifically because of Chalice of the Void. If they Chalice of the Void us, then we are so dead. Also, we can just like, even if they don't have Chalice of the Void, like kill a Chrome Mox or something, like feels really, 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 really good. Yeah, Chalice of the Void is a total nightmare for us, and Wear Tear is our answer to that. And similar to Delver, we are shaving to Grief and to Exhume. It's important we keep the Dark Rituals in because I would consider them an unfair deck, right? Like, we need to make sure that we are able to combo very, very quickly. And interrupting what they're doing becomes secondary to making sure we put our homie onto the battlefield. The third most popular deck is Painter. Against Painter, we are bringing in Serenities. We are bringing in Wear Tears. And Snuff Out actually isn't good against Painter, at least good Painter players, because Painter's just going to name black, assuming you have Snuff Out. So that's like a no-go on that. You don't actually get to interrupt anything with Painter. That being said, we're going to shave in the same way. Shave as such. Because again, it's an unfair deck. It's important that we're really, really fast with like Dark Ritual. You notice that we're sideboarding in a similar way nearly every time. Again, the reason for that is that like we shave on the combo in the same way because that's how we keep the combo consistent. That's how we are able to be in a situation where the combo still does a thing, but we're still able to sideboard. So there's going to have to be a reason for us not to do what we're doing. The next most popular deck is Sef Breakfast. I like Fairy Macabre against the deck because you can exile the Thassa's Oracle in response to Dread Return, which feels pretty good. Also, Chancellor of the Annex kind of stops what they're doing and like Force of Will and things like that. But remember, they are an unfair deck and like can kind of mess us up pretty quick. I also like Snuff Out. Snuff Out because you can interrupt the Nomads or the Celephid Illusionist situation. That being said, I shaved 3 Archon of Cruelty because we're bringing in Chancellor of the Annex anyway. And then we are going to shave the normal homies. It's important that we're fast, so we keep in the Dark Rituals because this is a combo deck. This is how I sideboard against Sef Breakfast. The 5th most popular deck is the Mirror Match. Obviously, we are bringing in Fairy Macabres. Chancellor of the Annex is also awesome because it can slow down our opponents. I think it's obvious that Exhume is actually awful in the matchup, unfortunately. So we're bringing out our Exhumes, and then we're going to shave on an Archon of Cruelty, so we just don't have too many cards that just that are just going to sit in our hand. This is how we sideboard against the mirror match. Next up is Elves. Against Elves, we are just bringing in Snuff Outs. You know, we are both combo decks. We're both trying to do our combos as fast as possible. Snuff Out can kind of slow them down just a tiny bit, you know, which is totally okay. And I want to keep everything that's going on as much as possible. So we're going to shave a single Archon of Cruelty because, like, them sacking a creature doesn't actually do anything. But we need to keep these things that, like, matter in our deck. And we're going to shave a single Grief. That's how we sideboard. The 7th most popular deck is 8-Cast. Against 8-Cast, we are bringing in Serenity. We are bringing in Wear Tear. It's important that we get rid of the artifacts. There's an argument for Fairy Macabre because of Emery, but like, I'm not that into it. But I do like Chancellor of the Annex because of, again, these Force of Will situations. So we're going to shave on 3 Archon of Cruelty so we can keep our targets to 7 since we are bringing in Chancellor of the Annex. And we are going to shave 2 Grief and 1 Exhume for reasons we've stated before. So we sideboard against 8-Cast. The 8th most popular deck, according to MTG Goldfish, is just another version of Delver of Secrets. It's the Grixis version with, like, Reanimate and, like, Snuff Out. So please just sideboard the same way that you would against Delver. The 9th most popular deck, I feel like I'm copying out here. The 9th most popular deck is another version of Initiative with Once Upon a Time. So if you get paired against the Selesnya, the Once Upon a Time Initiative, you're going to sideboard the same as Mono White Initiative. And then the 10th most popular deck is Death Shadow. Against Death Shadow, we're going to sideboard similar to Delver. We're going to bring in Chancellor of the Annexes, and because of the Force of Wills, we're going to bring in Show and Tells because of this matchup is very likely to go long, similar to Delver. And then we are going to cut the same cards as Delver. So this is kind of like a fair deck. It's a little less fair than Delver, but I like sideboarding similar anyway. Also gives us a lot of Show and Tell targets. So there you have how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Legacy with Reanimator. It might have been like top 8. It might have been a little bit of cop-out to using the Grixis Tempo deck. I'm using MTG Goldfish. The Grixis Tempo deck and the Selesnya Initiative deck, treating them as different decks. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Hopefully this sideboard guide helped you on your own sideboarding. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.